Hey Dane, man, you still awake, man, for the nightcap? Late one?
Yeah. This old man needs to get some sleep, but
The-
surprisingly, I'm wide awake for this one. I'm
yeah,
excited.
the late one, man. The late
Yeah.
one. Before I get into who it is, which I'm very, very excited about, I've got some useful facts about
Oh,
softball for you. You want to hear some useful facts about
all right.
softball?
Yeah. Let's have it.
So did you know softball was invented by a man named Walter? I would mess up his last name if I told you. Walter Ackman, I believe, or it starts with an H,
Hmm.
and he was actually a counselor that worked with the YMCA.
Hmm.
The coin softball was phrased in the 1920s. It's been a little bit of time, man. It's about 100
Oh.
years of softball for us, right?
Oh,
A long time.
nice. Nice.
It's also the game that I cannot hit a ball in. That's a fact. I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah.
Um, and it's home to an amazing athlete and ambassador, and just all around amazing human being that's giving
Yeah.
back to the community, which we'll get into on and off the field. I'm not going to waste any time, Dane, with any more
Yeah.
useful softball facts. I'm going to get into this icon of the sport and bring on the lovely Lexi Dodson. Lexi, how you doing
Yeah.
tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
Amazing.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Good.
we appreciate you coming on, Lexi. We've got some
Yeah.
questions we want to pick your brain about, and I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna take one. Thinking about softball and playing at the elite level like you have, and before you've known for this brand that you've made, kind of this empire. Before all of that, back in the day, take me back when you first picked up a bat. How old were you when you first began playing in your life?
I was about 8 whenever I first started, and I was actually, that's actually considered late. Like, did you realize
Hmm.
that? Yeah, 8 is late, apparently. Yeah, and so I played about a year of like city ball, and then I actually took a year off, and then that's whenever I realized that like I just have this true passion for this game. Like even at that young age, like I took
Yeah.
that one season off, and it was just the game changer for me.
I
Hmm.
love
So
that.
like, right then and there, I knew.
So at the age of 8, do you remember I asked this question because I remember my daughter's first team was the Unicorns, and then her friends were the Hot Cheetos. Do you remember the name of your first team when you were 8? What the name was?
I do. We were the Twizzlers and we had red jerseys and
Let's
everything.
go. Were you sponsored by Twizzlers? That's
Nice.
awesome. I
Nice.
swear. So along with softball, Lexi, did you guys play? Did you play other sports as well? A lot of athletes do that. Did you play anything else besides softball when you were coming up? Or
So I actually dabbled in gymnastics for about 2 weeks, but that was very short-lived.
I love it.
And then I really got into basketball there for a little bit, but then I really just, it started conflicting with softball. And so,
Hmm.
I had fallen in love really early and I knew that I wanted to sink my heart into softball. So all
Oh,
throughout
nice.
high school and stuff, I was just a single sport athlete, unlike most of my friends and stuff like that. But yeah.
Well, you're good
Oh,
at it, so that's all that matters. That's awesome.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, Dave.
So, what in particular about softball, that kind of made you say, I want to do this, and also, what was it about the catching position that made you want to do that?
Hmm.
Okay, so I really don't know. Literally from the moment that I saw softball, I was like, I want to put on that gear. Like I don't know what it was. It was just like, give me that gear right now. And then it just stuck. Like I think it has honestly made me into like the person that I am. Like whenever people meet me and stuff, they're like, "You're a catcher, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I am." Like, how did you know? Like, it's just more of
Got it.
like, you have to have like a really high like softball IQ
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
just like kind of more of like a leader on the team.
Mhm.
And like you're just the commander of the whole field,
Yep.
and
I
so
agree.
like I feel like that's something like I have a pretty strong personality and like that's kind of how you know and like you have to know every role of every position, all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like that, softball IQ and everything like that, like I'm a pretty
Yeah.
smart person and that goes hand in hand. And so catching is really where my passion is. I put a lot of work into it and everything like that. Was that
I
both questions? I feel like there's another question. I don't know if I answered it.
That was
No,
great.
that was
I
that's
think
perfect. And the other thing I would add to that you have to have pretty thick skin because from the catchers that play on my daughter's team, everybody at one point in the season dislikes you. So,
yeah, at some
but
point,
that comes with being a leader, though. I
yeah,
guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's
I
like
think
your job to kind of make sure everybody's doing their job too,
Yeah. There you
like
go.
whether they want to hear it or not. It's like, where was our cutoff there? Like you gotta have everybody.
It's the on the field coach, think about it. And I always say my daughter does catching work if she's not her primary is second base and all that, and then my other daughter's pitcher. But catching is, in my opinion, it's my favorite role on the team. All my favorite
Yeah.
baseball players, catchers, all my favorite softball players. Think about
Yeah.
Kinsey Henson, and obviously we love what you do. Catchers is where it's at, So I'm
Yeah.
curious of the influences, and obviously you said you saw it. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to don the mantle. I'm going to put on this gear, and I'm going to be this catcher. But somebody had to stand out to you, like maybe a couple influences. Who influenced you along your journey as a softball player?
Well, I would say one of my biggest influences would have been, so she's retired now and she has kids and all that, but I still love her so much. Her name is Megan May, and now she's Megan May Whitley. She caught
Yeah.
at Texas A&M, and like she was like Big 12 freshman of the year, and like she holds home run records there, and like oh my gosh, she was a stud,
Yeah.
and she actually coached me whenever I was about 10 or 12, somewhere in that
Oh, wow.
area. And so it was like a direct idol, like I was face to face with her, having conversations with her, and like it was just insane. Like you can watch her on TV, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then she actually played for the Scrapyard Dogs during their time.
That's awesome.
And
Cool.
yeah, so that was a big influence for me on the softball side. But I will say, still one of my favorite like catchers of all time is Grandpa Rossi, the manager for the Chicago Cubs now. I love him so much. And Yadier Molina, both
There we
of
go.
those. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you for that, because my blood started like Dane knows, because I'm a huge Cardinals fan, so my blood started like curdling back. I'm like, she looks like Cubs. No, thank you for redeeming yourself. Like, I almost had to edit the episode. I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Had to
totally
cut
kidding.
it off early.
Yeah, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see those influences. Lexi's
Yeah.
very strong, and yeah, she's awesome. I love that you got to meet your hero. It's kind of like when I finally got to meet my hero, when I got to meet Hulk Hogan for the first time. I'm just kidding. But Dane, go ahead. Go ahead, Dane. I love it.
Like now that classes are back in, you guys are doing your thing in the classroom, and I'm assuming that obviously that you've come from practice and the softball teams together, getting ready for some fall ball. What are some of the goals this year, for you personally, and maybe also for the team coming up that you guys hope to reach?
Well, this past year we actually like broke a lot of records for our school's program and everything. And we set the win record here and the highest finish in conference and like the best overall team batting average. I mean, we had someone break the stolen base record, batting average record. We had two pitchers break the lowest ERA record. Like, I mean, it was just a great year last year. And so I think this year we're going to be chasing to get even better. I mean, it's doable for us, and we have some really good recruits coming in. And so I'm really excited to see where this year takes us, because I'm ready to win conference and move on to the regional tournament, because Laterno has never gone to the regional tournament. And so like that's something that is one of our goals. And then personally for me on the team, I would say that I want to step into more of like a leadership role. Like last year I was a transfer. And so like I kind of came in and like that kind of, I had to learn the reins. And so this year I kind of would like to take more of a leadership role, more for like me personally.
I love that. I love that.
And that's kind of what I was going to follow up with is, do you feel like, now that you've had a year under your belt there, and also that being a catcher, does that leadership role come naturally to you, or do the coaches kind of instill it on the players as the new recruits come in and say, hey, take the reins and lead your team?
So last year, I wasn't here at the beginning of last year. I transferred in at the semester, but they voted on team captains. And one of our team captains graduated, but the other one is still here. And so you can tell that like she's obviously going to be probably a team captain again this year, because she did a great job. And I would, she deserves it. She's awesome. She does a great job in that leadership role. But there is a few people that I would say like could be that team captain. I hate that we only have two, because there's so many people on the team that I do feel like are leaders, whether that's by example, or anything, or just like somebody you can go and talk to. And so even if I don't get that like team captain, like I do feel as though I will be a leader on the team, just because like I've made it my personal goal this year to like be in some type of relationship with every single person on the team,
Mm.
because like that's something that I don't feel like a lot of people do. They kind of get in their little cliques and friend groups. And I've fallen victim to that too. You get comfortable with who you're comfortable
Yeah.
with. And so like I've tried really hard this year to make sure to like reach out to all the freshmen and like try and
Cool.
spread my personal time amongst other people, and all that kind of stuff, trying to make sure everybody feels involved, because I know coming in and all that, it's scary. This is my third school and my last school. I'm so happy here. But like I do get the new school vibes and like everybody having their friends. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. I can definitely see the wanting to help others, and that's what brings me to my next point. Dane, go ahead. I know we are going to talk about that before rapid, Dane. Let's talk
And
about that.
yeah, we were just, what you were so endearing to us about was, this thing that you're doing with Pay It Forward. We looked into that a little bit, and we love that you're doing that. Can you kind of expand and tell us how that started and what it's
Yeah,
all about for you?
love that.
Okay, so Paying It Forward Athletics is a brand, company, business, whatever you want to coin the term, that me and my family created. And so like the big motto that I have is growth mentally, physically, and spiritually. So like on all three
Mhm.
aspects, that it's all huge in the game of softball. And so we created this like brand to like so I could pursue my dream of not only giving back to the game that gave me like everything that I have and who I am and everything. Like it helped me find my identity.
Mhm.
And so not only to give back to that game, but also to help guide other young women to pursue their dreams on or off the field, because softball is just a platform for us to learn. Like it's not going to last forever, sadly.
Yeah.
Eventually the game ends. And so like if I can help people just mentally, physically, and spiritually while like playing the game that I love and coaching them to hopefully be playing the game that they love too, that would be that's my goal, and that's what this company and brand is all about. And so we actually just had our first camp this past summer and it went really well. We partnered with APEC, which is a local gym here. If you know Patrick Mahomes, he's a huge
Yeah,
advocate for APEC, and they've had so many professional athletes come out of there that like I can't even name them all. They're all over the walls in the gym and everything like that. And it's
that's
an
awesome.
amazing, right. It's amazing. And so we actually partnered with them and they said that they would love to partner with us in the future. And also we did a lot of like arm care. And so all the campers that came got J bands. I don't know how much you know about those, but they're
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
the best, yeah, the best in the game, and so all the campers got some of those and like just some cool stuff so that they could get better physically. And then we also had devotionals in the morning, and we also had guest speakers come in the afternoon to talk to them. And so like that was really great for our growth mentally and spiritually, and we put them through some hard work at the same time, and they got recruiting opportunities. We had a lot of coaches come out to come watch and scout, and there was a lot of highlighted names and some discussions afterward the camp. And so it was just great to see. And now that we're back in school, I can't really host these camps all the time because my time's really
Yeah.
limited too. And so I have done a few workouts with teams. Like I'll bring me and a few of my uh, friends, mentors, like our ambassadors, and we'll go out there and we'll put the teams through workouts and we'll talk to them and all that kind of stuff. See if they have any questions for us, because all of our mentors are college softball players. And so like we have been through the recruiting process, we have been through select ball and everything else. So any questions that they have, we are answering them. We'll pray over them if the
Yeah.
coach says we can, because obviously I don't want to push anything,
Understood.
you know,
Yeah.
right. And so like we'll just talk to them. And this past time that I went, we actually did Y boards. And so these are huge for me personally. It's like I have a flyer that I can send you guys if you want to
Yes,
like
please
put
do.
it with.
Yeah,
We'd love
Yes,
to.
okay.
yes,
We'd love
I
to.
please.
created a flyer for everything that they're about. But basically, it's just like you describe in short versions of like why you play the game, and so like that's a good visual representation. So I have two in my room, one for softball and one for my psychology degree that I want to get. And so it's like, why do I go to class in the morning? And it's like to get knowledge so that I can help people later. And so what's funny is I actually made my psychology board probably last year. It was like about a year ago. And on it, I literally wrote pay it forward. And so I
That's
think it's
cool.
crazy that over the summer I created a like a whole brand company business that is literally paying it forward athletics because I've been about paying it forward for so long, and like it's just so great to have that platform to be able to do that.
It's
Wow.
and I'm telling you,
Wow.
Dane, what do we say, Dane? This is what, again, you're a stud athlete, that we're not taking away from
Yeah.
that, but you are making the game better than when you found it. And that's what is so
Yeah.
awesome about you. You're so young compared to us old timers. You're so young and you have such a wisdom about you, and you have such
Yeah.
dude, Dane, how do I even speak on that? It's speechless, you know? I mean, I don't even know where to
And
go with that.
yeah, and to me, it's, like you say, you're led by something bigger than yourself, whether it's
Yeah.
softball, whether it's your belief system, whether it's the people that you surround yourself with or that brought you up, all those things together, you push forward and you help people realize their goals. I mean, there's nothing more that you can ask from somebody than just to help you along with all their knowledge. I mean, like
Mm.
I've always been taught, all the gifts that you've been given are not yours to keep. They're for yours to pass forward. So it's great to hear you're doing that with the younger group. And, it's like Josh said, at a young age, just to have that, wisdom and be able
Calling.
to do that. Yeah. That calling, that's a better
Yeah.
term for it, a calling to do that.
Right.
I love it. And that's why, we wanted to have you on to talk about that. So thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, Lexi, we will share the heck out of that. That's a story that we've been itching to tell, so I wanted to make the
Yeah.
time. So this database will eat that up, and we will share the heck out of that for
Yeah.
you. And we'd love to see any flyers you have. So
Yeah.
anytime you want to expand on that, Lexi, I'm going to say, we usually wait till the end to say this, but I'll say it now. We're always welcome back anytime. We
Yeah.
are huge advocates of anyone that wants to give back. And I don't care
Yeah.
what we work with people like yourself. We work with people that like to help special needs children play sports.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to give back to someone else, it bumps to the front of the line every time. So just know
Yeah.
that if you need a platform to showcase something, hit us up and we'll make it happen. We'll put it together quickly, just so you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Awesome.
I think we made her speechless. There it is. No, so in transition, I got the feels, Dane. Like I'm kind of feeling my feels. So
Yeah.
I need to. It's all good, but I'm gonna take a moment, Lexi. We're gonna throw some comedy into this for a second, okay? So I told you,
Alrighty.
we're gonna make you laugh, and
I'm
you're
all
also
about
gonna.
it.
It's time to get weird. We're gonna get weird, okay? So
Okay.
we're gonna get real weird. So there's a segment that we're gonna do called Rapid Fire. Now, if you've listened to the episodes, hopefully one or two, I'll be offended if you didn't. No, I'm kidding. But there's a segment that we do. And Dane and I bet on what we think you're going to say. We bet on
Okay.
you. So we're like studying you through different, things you've seen you post and all that. Our
Right.
fans give us the questions. So you got to pick one. Time doesn't exist. Anything's possible, past or present. You got to roll with one of the choices. Okay. So
Okay.
your first question, you are named one of the captains of the team this year. We're going to go ahead and call that out. And you have to take your team and play your first game of softball on ice with ice skates the entire game. Hear me out. So this is the first part of the nuance of the question. And you have to take the girls and you and train one of these two groups of people to play softball on ice. You have to take them, and like you got to pick who you think you can teach better. Your first choice is the cast of Grease. Your second choice is the cast of High School Musical. You and your team must take them as a team builder on ice skates, make them play all positions on ice skates. Are you going with Grease or High School Musical? Go.
High School Musical.
Dang it, Dane, I had Grease. Did you have that one?
Yeah, I had Grease, but we're old, man.
Yeah, that's true, man. I didn't have that one. So next question. Okay, so we're both 0 for 1. So Lexi, question 2. You guys make it to regionals this year. We're calling out, and this is a lot of softball teams tonight. You guys get there, and what they don't tell you is you don't get to wear your normal gear. You're not wearing your catching gear. You're not wearing Laterno stuff. You have 2 things you can actually wear for the entire game, you and your squad. Option 1 all of you can come out into the field wearing spacesuits, like the whole deal, like the Armstrong spacesuits. Or option B is everyone can come out dressed as rodeo clowns for the game. So spacesuits or rodeo clowns, which one are you going with?
I think I'm going to have to go with rodeo clowns just for functionality. You know, spacesuits would be awesome, but I just think it would be so hard to move around in that. So, you know, the rodeo clowns, they can get up and get after it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't. I am proud to say I am 0 for 2, Dan.
Yeah.
I did not have that one. Dude, I've seen DJ the Invader from. I don't know if you ever watched like Spin of Bananas, the pitcher that wears the bubble mask. I kind of thought you could pull that off, but okay, that's okay. You let me down, Lexi, but I'll forgive you. Okay, no, I'm kidding. so next one, you get to be a part. This is an iconic one. This comes up a lot, and everyone wants to know this. You get to be a part of being a guest commentator. You get to do what we do, and you and one other person get to commentate the 2024 Nathan's hot dog eating contest. You're a judge, commentator, if you will, and you get to pick one of your co-hosts to do this with you. Your co-host choices, Lexi, are A, Kevin Hart, or B, Eddie Murphy, to help you judge the 2024 hot dog eating contest. Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, who's your co-host?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You got Dr. Doolittle, you got Die Hard, you know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of legends.
You know, I think I'm gonna have to go with Kevin Hart because I think we could pull off the Rock and Kevin Hart dynamic.
Do it. Let's do it. I had you for that one. Dan, did you have that one?
No, I had Eddie Murphy. That's him.
Okay.
He could bring all his characters with him. That's where I was going. He had all his characters.
So two more. So imagine again, like I said, time, the metaverse, anything's possible. I watch a lot of Marvel movies, Lexi, so a lot of metaverse terms come out my mind. So let's imagine for a minute you and the team get to go on another trip, a team builder, okay? And you could spend a day in one of these two make-believe universes, you and the team, okay? So option one, you guys can all hang out in the realm of the Magic School Bus. You can just magically be a part of it for a day. Or B, you could all, you and the team and the coaching staff, be a part of a Bob Ross painting. So Magic School Bus or Bob Ross painting, which one you go with?
I think we got to go with the adventure and go with the Magic School Bus.
Dang it! Oh my goodness, I had you for Bob Ross. It's trendy, man. I'm getting crushed. Dang, did you have that one?
No, I had Bob Ross as well with the trend. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. So I am 1 for 4. Let me see if I can redeem myself. Dave, we're tied right now. Last question, Lexi. So you're you're starting game 1. We're gonna go to fall ball. We're gonna see you guys doing fall ball, and every time you catch a strike for your pitcher, okay. So you frame it every time you frame a strike. Let me use technical terms. You can have one of these two bands play one of their theme songs, like their iconic hits, every time you frame a strike. So imagine you're sitting there, your pitcher throws, you frame a strike. Got it? Your two choices that you can have to basically play their song every time is either A, Metallica is going to go with Sandman, or B, you can have Led Zeppelin play Stairway to Heaven every strike. You can have Metallica standing behind you, or Led Zeppelin, who you're going to have playing for every strike that you frame.
That's another really good question.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to go with Metallica.
Finally, Dana went 2 for 5, man. Did you get that last one, Dan?
No, I had Zeppelin, but
yeah,
because there's so many different levels of that song.
I love that. The parts of it, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Well, thank you, Lexi. Hopefully, an interview's impressed you've done. You haven't had something quite like that, so thanks for being a good sport. Okay. So, Dane, you owe me lunch. I'll take my Red Lobster bisque, Dane, from Subway. Let's go. Send it to me. So, final segment, I'll give it back to Dane for that one. So.
Yeah, Lexi, on this segment, we call it an open mic. We kind of open up the floor to our guests to, maybe have them tell maybe a philosophy or a mantra that they've maybe carried with them through their careers to kind of help some of the younger listeners and viewers get to where you're at. Is there something that you could tell our younger viewers, maybe a philosophy that you've carried to kind of help them along as well?
Yes. Okay. So, I came prepared apparently because,
right.
I just felt called,
Good.
as we were talking about earlier, to write down my favorite Bible verse so that I wouldn't, mess it up for you guys. Okay. And so I have personally struggled with anxiety in the game of softball. Okay. Cause I, like to have a fear of failure and which is weird because I play a game of failure. You go 3 for 10 batting and you're amazing. Okay. So, it's kind of interesting how, and, I feel like you're called to do stuff that you struggle with. It helps you persevere and learn from things. If you're just good at everything, then you're never going to learn anything. And so, my Bible verse that I have discovered and carried with me over these past few years is Joshua 1:9. And it is, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord thy God is with you wherever you go.
Mm.
And so that is something that I would actually write on my, like, about right here so I could see it, because we can't have our Apple Watches on during games. But I would write it about right here so that it would be under my gloves so that I could see it. And, just remind myself that he's with us wherever we go. And, be where your feet are. Remember to breathe, and everything's going to be okay. He's not going to put us through anything that we can't handle. He's going to put us through trials, but we can still handle it as long as we rely on him. And so if you can't tell, my faith is really,
Yeah.
correlated with the game.
Oh yeah.
And so like that verse really gets me through a lot just because, it literally says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. So don't be discouraged by any mistakes that you make on the field, and don't be afraid to make the next one. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like even in MLB, you can watch plenty of bloopers where they are throwing the ball around, like I think this season actually somebody got like a home run off of like a bunt situation or something where it's like we sailed it to the outfield and the outfield sailed is cut off, and then it's just a mess, and then they overthrew it back home, and I'm like, that's 3 mistakes in one play, and they're at the highest level. It happens everywhere. I mean, you watch the World Series, the Women's College World Series, and those are the top athletes in the game right now, and even they're making mistakes. And so that's something that I forget. We're human. We aren't perfect. And so, be strong and courageous. Do not be
I love
afraid.
that.
Do not be discouraged, for he is with us wherever we go. And so
I love
that
it.
is,
Love it.
huge philosophy of mine.
I love the
Love it.
I love that, and it's true because softball is such a parallel to life, right? And it's like, hey, knowing that you're not alone. And again, like I say this every time, Lexi, we appreciate your passion. We celebrate all walks of life, all faith, all creed. So I love it when someone brings how they feel, and it's fine whatever someone doesn't or doesn't believe. We celebrate that. So I love your passion. I love it. And I think it's neat to see that you definitely know what drives you. You can see that, and that's people flock to someone who just is themselves, right? And I love that, and there's definitely softball is more than a game for you. It's beyond that. It is a parallel. It's a life lesson. Like I said, Dane, we talk about all the time the next generation of softball is in good hands. Dane, are we right with people like Lexi? Isn't the sport in great hands?
Oh, definitely. And with what you're doing with paying it forward, that's even a step up, another level. I mean,
that's crazy.
You can't say enough about that, and we can't wait to put this out and show everybody what you're all about and encourage them to look into what you're doing, because you can't say enough great things about it.
Love it.
And your message of persevering, keep going. Like we always tell our girls, and I always tell my daughter in particular, practice and get all of your mistakes out, and try to get all your mistakes out in practice, because you're going to fail. Try to limit your mistakes. Like you said, on the biggest stages, there's bloopers, but try to get as many as you can out, knowing that the next one is going to be possibly the next play. So it's great to have that message and hear you say that. So thank you for that.
Lexi, I left inspired tonight, Dane. Did you? I
yeah.
left inspired.
Oh yeah.
Lexi,
I'll be up for another 3-4 hours thinking about that.
I'm going to go try to hit a ball, Lexi. I might not do so well, but I'm going to try to go practice outside. Lexi, please know this. I mean it wholeheartedly. Come back anytime. That's not just a saying.
Yeah,
you're part of the
definitely.
You're welcome to come back in future episodes. Last kind of maybe bonus question. I guess I did have another one I didn't prep you for. Obviously, you have the skill set and the talent, and the PR is even there. You ever thinking about maybe declaring after you play at Laterno, maybe going pro? Because you definitely got the skill set for it,
if it happens, it happens. If I did have the opportunity to do that, I would absolutely jump all over it. But at the same time, like if it's not in my cards, then so be it. I am not necessarily planning on that happening, because it is a long shot, because there's so many great women in the sport right now. And it's just, it would be really hard for me to do that, because I am at a D3, and I'm so happy to be here at this D3, but getting that recognition would be very hard. So like I'm not necessarily planning on it. If I need to adjust to something amazing like that, I can absolutely do that. But in my plans right now, it's pretty much just playing while I can and then GAing and then seeing where it goes from there. Eventually having my own facility, to
Oh, there you
have
go.
lessons and all that and all that good stuff. But like right now, it's not in the cards. If it happens, it happens.
I love it. I
Mm.
love it. Well,
Yep.
everything you do turns to gold. So Dane, I don't know how to land this one. We usually get about, a certain way in and it's like, okay, we can tell it's time to go. But I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
shut myself up, Lexi, or you're gonna be here all night. So I will say thank you on behalf of Dane and I.
Yeah.
Always, always, always.
Yeah.
Please make it a point to come back. We'll be watching you. With Dane and
Definitely.
I, what do you say, Dane? Maybe 300 games a year we probably watch. It's softball, is that right?
Well, when
So
we first started this, it was that. Now it's probably going to
yeah.
be four or 500 now. So
Yeah.
it seems like every time I turn the TV on, it's on a ball game where I'm
Yeah.
rewatching something that I missed. So,
I love it.
but it's a labor of love, as they say.
Yeah. Well, Lexi, we'll definitely share this. We'll share Pay It Forward and what you do, a role
Yeah.
model. Thank you for being so much more than softball to these
Yeah.
girls. And what you're doing is not easy and it's so rewarding. And thank you for taking the sport to places that you're part of
Yeah.
history. The Women's College World Series this year and just softball in general, one of the highest grossing sports this year of all of college softball, or all of
Yeah.
college, if you will. So you're definitely on the cusp of what you're doing with softball. Girls are catching on, they're loving it. So you're
Yeah.
part of that history in the making. So just
Yeah.
keep rocking it. And just come back anytime. We mean it when we say that,
Yeah.
okay? Stay in
Definitely.
touch and come back in the near future to do it again sometime, okay? So
Anytime I'm here, I will make time for this.
we will make it happen. Well, Lexi, thank you again.
Excellent.
I'll give you some time back in your night. Dane, you say anything closing?
No, just thank you for coming on tonight and all that you're doing. Best of luck with it, and we hope it goes as well as better than what you plan. And
Yeah,
sky's the limit with it, as far as we
I
can
love
see.
that. Awesome. Well, Lexi, thank you again. You're welcome to get back to your night. We'll get out of your hair, and thanks again. And we'll be in touch, and we'll make it happen again very soon. Okay. Much love, and thanks for all you do. Okay. So
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
yes, we'll talk soon. So Dan, I'm telling you, man, I can't say enough good things about that gal. She's just top of the pile, man. What'd you think of her?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of attitude, it's going to grow, and starting something like that for this community, which is
Mm.
already, you think that, man, everybody's so gracious here and they're willing to help somebody else out. But with what she's doing, it takes it even to another level. So, you can't help but just, want to be involved and listen to the story of how that came about and wish them nothing but luck going forward. So I can't wait till the flyer comes at us.
Dude, that touched my heart. I think about her and Randy.
Yeah.
Remember the gentleman we worked with from the Bambino League, where it's like
Yeah.
he was all about those kids. And there's a few, and again, every episode's special, man. But she's all about everybody else, and I see that so
Yeah.
often, but not to that level where it's like, hey, she literally put her money where her mouth is, and before she even
Yeah.
got done playing, she's got her own program. And I caught this, and she didn't. She was too humble to speak on it. She said, "Hey, I started this camp for these kids." The kids got recognized. She wasn't worried about trying to put her
Yeah.
name out there
Yeah.
and declare
Yeah.
herself. That to me, I was like, okay, that's just another notch of like cool
Yeah.
human, A plus, right? Put at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not
There you
even
go.
trying to get recognized for herself. She's doing it for the kids. How cool is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wow.
And, whenever they see her and tell their friends about her, she'll be an icon in the best of lights. Some people do things for sport, but what she's doing goes way beyond that. It's something at another level. It doesn't just help them in this softball sport. It helps them, like she said, mentally, spiritually, and physically.
Love it.
All phases of life. So
Love it.
she's
Love it.
building,
Love it.
she's taking her great character and helping build others up with it. So I love it.
That was a good one. That was a top one for the night, man. Top deck. I love everything she is, and
Yeah.
like I said, we celebrate all walks of life and the passion that she has. It's hard not to
Yeah.
get inspired by that. So, Lexi, again, thank you out there. I know we let you go, but thanks for doing that. Thank you, Laterno,
Yeah.
and just oh man, that was good. So that'll end the night. Dane, we have a couple more to tell
Yeah.
you guys about as we close out the week. So we've got our friend Anna stopping by from She Strength is going to be making it by
Mhm.
this weekend. We've got several Sunday episodes, Dane, coming through. We've got our friend Cody from Saint Asanya stopping by.
Yeah.
We got our buddy LVO from Dowtree stopping by. It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Dowtree is pretty. They just put out Separate Ways with Lizzie Hale. That was an awesome track. We've got our buddy Zell stopping by, amazing producer. We've just got word. We've got Morgan Pitcher from Oregon. Let's go, Morgan.
Yeah.
Can't have you on. It's gonna be fun. Monday night, Dane, we roll with Coach BC Collins, a great Oklahoma basketball coach, doing things big in the towns in Oklahoma. Love it. Tuesday, next week's pretty heavy. Next week we've got a Tuesday edition. I'll save it for you. Wednesday rolls around. We take a little breather. We only have two. Got our buddy from Ann Berlin stopping by and Disciple. We got Joey and Josiah, forgive me, and then Joseph stopping by. And then Thursday will be our nightcap. So lots of content to come as you start rolling into the new format and we chisel into the new format. But that one's going to be hard to beat. So they've got some more work to beat Lexi tonight, man. That's awesome. So, wow. But anyway, Lexi, thank you on behalf of the Dane and Josh show. That was a great nightcap. We love what you're doing, and thank you again. It's an honor.
Yeah,
we'll close. Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.